Hey, this is Anthony Cesari with SuccessFearSongs.com, and in this video we're going to be looking at 3 things that can help you create much more effective cover songs, and I'm going to be talking about those 3 things through an example that really works well for me. So we're going to be taking a look at that. The last time I sat down to watch the movie The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, as the opening credits were rolling, I found myself completely intrigued with the song that accompanied the movie's intro. It was oddly familiar and yet totally fresh at the same time. So it was setting a great mood for the movie for me. And then it hit me that it was a cover of Led Zeppelin's Immigrant Song. So I quickly went on Google to find out who did that version, and it turned out it was by Karen O of Yeah Yeah Yeahs, Trent Reznor of 9 Inch Nails, and Atticus Ross, who collaborates with Reznor on a lot of different movie soundtracks. I'd always loved this original Zeppelin song, but I was really enjoying this new version, so immediately my mind starts thinking, what is making this such a good cover? So I came up with 3 answers that apply to this song and also apply to other cover songs as well. And if you're not familiar with this song, either version, I'm going to put links for both of those on this screen, so you can check those out there. Okay, so now that you're familiar with both versions, let's talk about how to make a successful cover song. The first thing that struck me is designing the vocal. So as always, the lead vocal is a crucial part to whether or not you're going to have a great track. The worst thing you can do is try to do an impression of the original singer. Keep it in your own voice and make it yours. The only time for impressions would be if you're in a cover band. In that case, you're probably dressing like the original lead singer as well. And odds are you're not doing that if you're simply performing one cover. So stay away from impressions and be yourself. How was the vocal handled in the new version of Immigrant Song? Well, for starters, they used a female vocalist with Karen O. This was a great call because of the high-pitched nature of Robert Plant's original vocals. A lot of male vocalists wouldn't have been able to pull off the shrieks of Robert Plant. And those who can run the risk of sounding like imitators. So don't get me wrong, male vocalists have definitely performed this cover well in the past, but this was a cool take on this song, in my opinion. And aside from Karen O's vocals matching Robert Plant's original pitches well, there's more that makes her vocal work well in this version. Generally speaking, a female vocal tends to be more delicate than that of a male vocal, and that idea works well in this song because it creates a cool juxtaposition of that delicate female vocal against the tough and grungy bed of instrumentation that's lying underneath. And that juxtaposition is amplified by the fact that in the original version, the instrumentation isn't as grungy as it is here. Plus, with the new version being sung by a woman, the contrast between the vocal and the instruments becomes more intense because in our minds, we can't help but compare it to the original, which doesn't have that much contrast to start off with. And the most important thing to consider when you're designing your own vocal delivery for a cover song is to properly emote the lyrics based on what they mean to you. So if you do that, you can't lose with your vocal take. Karen O does a nice job in delivering the vocals in this track by laying back when she needs to and dipping into an edgier vocal when it's appropriate. Before moving on to step 2, I just wanted to mention that we have a couple of cheat sheets that you can download to help you improve your songwriting. You can grab those by tapping that little I in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. And you can also subscribe to this channel to stay updated on our latest songwriting videos with the little subscribe button on the lower right-hand side of your screen. Okay, so the second part here is keeping the essence of the original. In the case of Immigrant Song, this means holding true to Led Zeppelin's version musically. The key, tempo, lyrics, and structure of the new version are all basically the same as the original. And on paper, the 2 versions are pretty much identical. And what changed in the new version happens outside of the technical music events. So of course, that's not to say that, to hold true to the original, you have to keep the key, tempo, and all that stuff the same. Many great covers change that music from the original. And I did another video on the song Sweet Dreams, which Marilyn Manson does a cover of. And that's an example that, doesn't stick to those things. In that case, Marilyn Manson keeps the essence of the original by accentuating the main guitar lick in the verses, but he also slows down the tempo pretty drastically from the original Eurythmics version. But what's important to keep in mind is to hold on to something defining in the original version that will let people know where your song came from if they're familiar with that original version. There are some cases where completely deconstructing the original version of a cover and barely replacing it at all can be cool, but I think when starting to work out your cover songs, it'll be to your benefit to find some piece of the original to hold on to as a reference point for your listeners. And the third point I want to make here is to make the song your own. And I know this might seem contrary to my previous point, but it's not, because while you want to keep some essence of the original song intact, you also want to put your own stamp on the song as well. If you check out the bed of the new version of Immigrant Song, you can clearly hear the Nine Inch Nails edginess contributed by Trent Reznor. Those tough, gritty synthesizer sounds that we love Nine Inch Nails for are definitely standing proud. And while the music of this song is all Led Zeppelin's, as we discussed in the second point, the feel belongs totally to the new crew. And if you've never heard the Led Zeppelin song before and you heard this new version, you'd have never guessed that it was a Led Zeppelin song. And it's because all the feel in this version is contributed by the new artist. It's not Trent Reznor trying to match Zeppelin's exact original guitar tones, but he's programming the song his way. And it's probably the way he would have done it had he written it. And the same goes for Karen O's vocals. She's not giving you a Robert Plant impression. She's delivering the song the way she would have if it were hers. So next time you decide to perform a cover, give some consideration to these points. How are you going to deliver the vocal? In what ways are you going to hold true to the original? And finally, how are you going to add your own style to it? And if you consider these questions before you perform it, you'll be sure to give your audience a cool experience. So have fun with it, and I hope that helps. So hopefully that information is useful to you. If you want a lot more information for improving your songwriting, I have a couple of free cheat sheets for you that you can download by tapping on the screen here. And if you have not yet subscribed to this YouTube channel to stay updated on our latest songwriting videos, you can tap our logo on the screen for that. And I've also got links for that stuff below this video. So thank you for checking this one out, and I will talk to you in the next one. Take care.
I'm just sitting here alone.